Every superhero must have their own theme music. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. Welcome to another edition of Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I am your host, Brother Jackie Muhammad, and tonight we have a powerful show for you tonight. We thank you all for tuning in. We hope that you enjoy what we have to offer tonight. It is a serious show, a powerful show, and I'm blessed to be able to be with a panelist of warriors. So, with no more from myself, I would like to introduce my co-host and comrade in this struggle, Brother Kawi Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. You are muted, sir. Have the engineer unmute you. He's about to...
Assalamu alaikum, family. Yes, sir. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, our divine reminder and warner that's in our midst. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. This is a show right here I have been trying to get off. The Jock Brothers have been trying to put together for about 2 years. And we have been blessed with this specific group of believers, warriors that can give us a lot of insight and knowledge on what this topic is about. It's called Council Survivors. And again, Jock Nation, we thank you for tuning in. For those that have been with us since day one, words cannot express how much we appreciate your support you've given us over the last few years. And for those that it's like in our nation, and I know they're coming on right now, thank you so much. Again, we love you. We love you. We love it. We say things in threes in the South. We always do it in threes in the South. For those that have supported the Jock Brother platform financially, we love you. I just want you to know your monies have been well spent and invested into the Jock Brother show, and you could probably tell by by our growth over the last 3 years. Now, for this type of show, we want everybody to please share this show. Please subscribe and hit the bell. But if nothing else, please subscribe to the show, because this show right here, I promise you, we have the right believers on that can absolutely enlighten you to what cancer is all about. Now, the Jock Brothers, the Jock Nation, we have initiatives. We don't try to be any type of podcast. We actually try to be a podcast that make a difference in our society. And what we have now is what's called a prison initiative, in which we're trying to get the Final Call newspaper behind bars to, my goal is 1,000 of our brothers and sisters behind bars. I know they say that if the Final Call is sold on the streets, it'll probably touch the hands of seven of our lost found family. But in the prison, one paper, I believe it touched the hands of 25 plus of our family behind bars. And so we asking the Jock Nation get behind that endeavor. For a 3-month subscription is $18. Just think, a brother behind bars getting this paper on time for 3 months. We don't have to get $18 to the Final Call one time, and we don't have to worry about them for 3 months. For 6 months, it's $30, and for a year, it's $60. A 1 year subscription to the Final Call newspaper is $60 for the year. But again, $18 for 3 months. We ask you to please support that endeavor. And our Cash App information, I don't see it scrolling. Our Cash App information is $Jock Bros. Now we spell Jock, JAKQ. Now we don't put a C in there. It's a JAKQ Bros. That's how you spell Jock. So if you want to give a financial donation to the Jock Brothers platform, that is the Cash App. But if you want to give a financial donation to our prison initiative, that is also the Cash App. We'll know where the money goes by how much you donate. If it's like $18, we know that's for the prison minister. And put in the memo section of your donation, prison minister. So I think I covered everything. Oh, of course, I don't know 1,000 inmates. I don't know 1,000. So there's a person that's that's incarcerated that you know of that you would like to specifically get the Final Call newspaper, please send that information to this email address right here, jockbrotherviewers@gmail.com. Again, we spell Jock JAKQ. Brothers viewers at gmail.com. We'll need their name, the inmate number, the facility they're at. And if you have like their chaplain name and number, that'd be a great help for us. That has been the number one hurdle we've had to overcome in getting this paper to our brothers and sisters behind bars, dealing with the chaplain. So please support that endeavor. Back to you, Brother Jackie.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Kawhi. All right, Jock Nation. So as you heard earlier, we are doing our show today is Cancer Survivor. And being it that it's October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, what better show to come on and talk about and have this conversation? So we cannot avoid these type of conversations because we're out of fear. We must meet these conversations head on, and we have the perfect panel for it. So I would like to start by introducing our first guest. It's our sister, Dr. Christina Parks, who graduated from the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire, in 1992 with a double major in biochemistry and molecular biology. She went on to earn her PhD in cellular and molecular biology from the University of Michigan in 1999. She did her graduate research in, and help me with this pronunciation.
Cytokine.
Cytokine. Okay, yes, ma'am. Signaling. Cytokine are the chemicals that the immune system uses to communicate. Thank you, Dr. Parks. And she brings a wealth of knowledge about how vaccines affect the immune system and is outspoken in warning that there is no medical freedom when doctors and scientists who have dared to tell the truth are silenced and punished. So welcome to Jock Brothers Show, Dr. Parks. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. And this is such an important topic because I think that there's a lot of messaging about cancer that really doesn't reflect the reality of what is going on in the body and why the body gets cancer and how the body destroys cancer. Just extremely briefly, I'll just say that if you have been diagnosed with cancer, you probably had it for 5 or 10 years and you thought you were doing fine. Some people's bodies destroy it and they never know they had it. So we'll talk more about that later, but it's a privilege.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Thank you for that. All right. So, I'm gonna start first with Mom. my mom, Sister Beverly Muhammad, Sister Student Minister Beverly Muhammad.
That's right.
When I met her, the first time seeing her, she was speaking at the graduation of Blackstone Academy, and I was like, wow, who is this? She was teaching so beautifully. And I have grown to know her. She is the teacher of my children. They absolutely love her. But, if I keep talking it, we might start tearing up. So I would like you to hear more from our sisters. Sister Beverly Muhammad, welcome to the show.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. If you would, Sister Beverly, would you introduce yourself to our Jock Nation and tell us a little about yourself, please?
Absolutely. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. And my name, of course, is Sister Beverly Muhammad. My title in the Nation of Islam actually is the wife of Emeritus Captain Brother Timothy Muhammad.
Oh.
And we've been married for over 40 years, and we're still girlfriend and boyfriend.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, ma'am.
I have been in the Nation of Islam for 56 years. I am a relative of Mother Tanetta Muhammad, but most importantly, a student of Mother Tanetta Muhammad. I love, above all, being a teacher of students. Like I taught Brother Jackie students. I taught physics, chemistry, and biology. I have an undergraduate major too. one in education and one in biology. I did a year of medical school at American University. My grandmother was the first Black female doctor to be licensed in the state of South Carolina. I'm sorry, male or female to be licensed in the state of South Carolina. So I come from a background of teachers and medical people. I worked for Kaiser Permanente on staff with medical people for over 20 years. I am now retired. My husband and I have authored 2 books. I have also was the press secretary for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for 13 years. And basically, I am your sister.
That's right.
And when I say that, I say it very honestly with a lot of love. And if you're wrong, I will correct you, but I'll love you no matter what.
I bear witness.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, man. We all bear witness. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Sister Beverly. Welcome to the show. And now we want to introduce your boyfriend of 40 years, our brother, who is no stranger to the Jock brothers. He has a wealth of history in our Nation of Islam. He has a beautiful history. Definitely always have my respect because they established our flag in an area that was at one time one of the worst drug areas in our nation. So we want to welcome to the Jock Brothers show our brother, Captain Emeritus, Brother Timothy Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you very much. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, Merciful. Assalamu alaikum. As brother has said, my name is Brother Timothy Muhammad, Captain Emeritus. I'm a former captain of the city of Washington, D.C., and one of the leaders of the world famous Dope Busters. Also a former captain in Atlanta, Georgia, and a former minister in Atlanta, Georgia, and also with the brother that started 15B, in a matter of fact. But with that, I'm married that 40 years or 42 years to that pretty lady right there that you're looking at, Sister Muhammad, Now, thank you all for having us here on the program. It is a very important program, but we're going to get into the meat of it in just a minute.
Yes. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you. Thank you all for accepting our invitation. All right. So we want to move right along. We want to go to our sister, Sister Najima Muhammad. Our sister, I think you're out of Washington, D.C. Are you still in Washington, D.C.?
No, sir. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Well, we haven't met. She's in Atlanta, so praise be to Allah. So let's Jock Nation. Let's welcome our sister Najima Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir, ma'am.
Alaikum salam. Thank you, brother. In the name of Allah, Beneficent, the Merciful. I'm going to be very brief. I've been in the nation a long time. Been a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the best teachings that I could ever receive from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Absolutely.
I have a degree in biology. I have another degree as a BSN in nursing, and I completed a certification from Emory University in health and wellness coaching. I am a cancer survivor. I am on my 6th year, and for that, I'm truly grateful. And I'm just grateful to be here every day to continue to put one foot in front of the other to try to be a better sister and a better believer.
Oh, absolutely. Praise be to Allah. But we thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you, Sister Najma.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And last but definitely not least, our brother, who's a warrior as well, our Final Call editor, our brother. Brother, what city are you in? Chicago, dear brother?
Yes, sir. I'm in Chicago.
Yes, sir. Our brother, he hails in Chicago. So let's, Jock Nation, let's welcome our brother Naba Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Thank you so much for the invitation. Not just because of what, first of all, my brother, text me or email me that Cash App for your efforts to reach people with the Final Call behind prison walls.
Oh, yes, sir.
People that are locked down. I have a special love and passion for them. So please send that to me, and I'll be sending you my personal um, um, donation. And I'm sure you already got connections with Brother Abdullah, and there's some other brothers that are working, maybe a regional prison minister. But anyway, I'll get off of that. But that's a beautiful thing, brother.
Praise be to Allah.
And
Thank
I'm a leave it alone because I'm about to go there. Because
you. Yes, sir.
the way our people suffer for trying to do good and be good shows you the level of enemy that we have. So I'm Brother Naba Muhammad. The other thing is you have reunited me with my comrades from Muhammad Mosque number 4 in DC, which I entered in
Yes, sir.
1986, which is about 36 years ago.
Come on now. Come on.
Brother Tim is certainly Captain Emeritus, but he really forged me as my great first officer. And his wife, Sister Beverly,
Praise
was
be
always there. Sister Najma has always been a soldier. She was my nemesis at one point. She was bullying me. But other than that, no, let me stop. Beautiful people. I came to the nation in 1986. I've been serving the final call for many years, over 20 something, probably over 25 now. I was East Coast correspondent starting in DC. Then I was managing editor in
DC.
Chicago. And about 15 years ago, the minister made me editor in chief in Chicago. I am still in this battle with this thing called cancer. And my journey began either 2015 or 2016. And I had prostate cancer surgery in 2017.
Oh, yes, yes, sir. But thank you, brother, and welcome to the show. We thank you for your spirit, Brother Naba. Told y'all we have some warriors on here. Praise be
That's
to
right.
Allah. So first question. What is cancer? What is it? Does it has its own identity under a scope? Like if I hold up a basketball in one hand and a baseball, you know they're balls, but you can identify them. Is cancer identified? What exactly is cancer? And this is an open question. If anybody would like to address it.
Let's start off with Sister Beverly. Can you answer that, Sister Beverly?
Well, I would like to answer that by first referring to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan lecture called The Criterion. And I think he gave one of the most basic things to understand about cancer when he likened it to, not likened it, but it's in the same classification almost as the COVID pandemic, because they come from a class of viruses. And the virus, as Dr. Parks so eloquently states in her bio, can live in you and you don't know it. And there are certain things that trigger a virus in your body. That virus, once it becomes activated, has the ability to go into the center of the nucleus of your cells and actually rearrange the reproduction of your DNA and attacks it and kills it. Or doesn't kill it, it more or less makes it a zombie. And then from that moment on, that cell, the nucleus, does not produce human cells anymore. It produces little viruses, whether it's Ebola, cancer, or COVID. The most interesting thing, I think, in wondering where the viruses come from and how are they here, is this study that has been done for the last at least 20 to 30 years. I'll say 20 to 25 years by the astronauts who travel outside of the sphere of our planet Earth, and especially the work that has been done on the International Space Station. The first Russian astronaut that went out in space, they found when they were out in space that there were some living something that accumulated on the windows of the spaceship, and they had to abort the mission.
Mm. Yes, ma'am.
The minister said this cannot be healed on earth. I forget how to say it exactly, but he said it didn't come from this planet, and it's sure it's not going to be found on this planet. So, what I'm really basically trying to say is that there is an abundant amount of research that says that viruses that come, that we get, don't come and originate on planet Earth. They travel on meteorites, they travel on comets, and they are deposited when they come into our atmosphere and find their home in their living space there, unless they are grown in Wuhan by
Yes,
man.
ma'am. Yes,
And I
ma'am.
can support anything I'm saying as far as the astrophysics of it, okay?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Now, as my sister said earlier, she said she loved the word survivorship. Um, and I want to talk with Brother Tim because as Sister Parks or Sister Christina said earlier, that it could be in your body and you may not even know it. But from my understanding, you you did a self-diagnosis and found out that you were dealing with prostate cancer. Is that fact, sir? Or
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Say
okay,
with me.
how did you
With me,
catch?
I
How did
was.
you catch that?
What happened was, see, I was in the gym. I was going to the gym every other day. I was working out. I was at the top of my game. I was in peak health. I went to the doctor every year and got a full physical. Whenever I got a physical, all of my numbers, my vitals were right on time. It was perfect. So in 2019, I went and got my physical, and the doctor was telling me that my PSA had risen quite a bit. But even before that, while I was in the gym, as I was working out, at one point I started getting nauseated and felt like I wanted to vomit. Thinking that's what my body started changing, you know. So I asked the doctor about that, and of course, the PSA had elevated and elevated. And I was into he did a biopsy of it, and he found out that my prostate was filled with cancer. But the thing about it is, I was in tip top shape. I mean, I was on How Did You Live? I was peaking. I was at my best in all of that. I was bench pressing 200 pounds, you know, eight rep, 5 sets. I bulked up. I was feeling real good.
Yes,
But
sir.
when I talked to the doctor told me I had a fast, rapid case of cancer. I mean, it was moving through my body fast. As a matter of fact, one of the first people that I called about it was Brother Naba, because I knew what he was going through, but mine was like moving fast. So when I was diagnosed, I didn't believe it. I got diagnosed by 5 doctors. I just went to doctors, you know, and finally when at the end of it, you know, I had surgery, you know, for the prostate, you know. But I could feel my body change as I was working out, even in the best, what I thought was the best of my health. But what saved my life was early detection. If I had
Mm.
not been getting my physical, if I had not gone to the doctor at that time, because the cancer was moving so rapidly through my body, if I had not gotten the physical, it would have been in my bones and in my other organs. And that's what saved me. So I encourage all brothers. And
Brother Campbell.
sir,
But did you say that it was a regular checkup, or you just felt something different, and it
no,
motivated you to go
sir,
to the
no,
doctor?
no, sir. It's a regular checkup. I was getting my checkup at about the time that I was becoming nauseated. it was around the time of my checkup. But I get a regular checkup even now. I get a checkup every year, a full checkup, and everyone should do that. I encourage all brothers to do the same. Minister Farrakhan, I encourage all of us to do the same. Because the life you save may be your own. We can't self-diagnose ourselves, but we can see if something is going wrong in our body, we need to move on it. So whenever I talk to brothers, I always ask, brother, have you got the checkup? You need to get a checkup. Mine was unordinary because it was moving so fast through my body, but some people have cancer and move slower through their body. Mine was rapid,
Yes, sir. But brother,
May I say something to
oh,
answer
absolutely.
your question? Right,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you said, did you know you have cancer before someone told you you had cancer? In my case, I knew I had cancer. I felt it. I felt it because I know my body. I studied my body. I made sure that I know that my body, as being a part of me, that if something is not right in it, I'm in tune enough to, I make sure I'm in tune enough with my body to know when something is not right. And I knew something was wrong because part of my DNA was not feeling the best. DNA is where God lives. That's what we're taught. It's the code. It's the divine code. And I felt something way deep inside of my body was not right. And when I went to get my mammogram, I already knew. And I knew they were going to come back and tell me I had cancer, the only breast cancer. The only thing I needed to know from them was the medical diagnosis in medical terms. And sure enough, when they came back and told me, they said, well, we found a lump and we want to, it's cancer and blah, blah, and I got a lumpectomy, meaning they took the cyst, the lump out. I'm trying to think of the proper word, Dr. Parks and Nurse Muhammad. But they took it out. They called it a lump. That's the, the common
Street
word.
term.
But my cancer had spread. And so they said it spread worse. And so I had to get a mastectomy. But the key was that you have to be in tune with yourself. And when you don't eat pork, when you go and study the parts of your body, how they work, and I love your endeavor of study Dr. Parks. I myself have been extremely interested in histology because I do know that the body does talk cell to cell with one another, and I could feel it. And I wasn't surprised when they told me.
Okay, so we have like early detection, really focusing on our body. As men, we ignore signs. I mean, man, I've been limping for 20 years, bro. I don't know what's going on with my foot, and I still haven't went and found out. So, these are some of the things that we as men do sometimes. I want to bring you in, Brother Naba, around the time you found out, and were there symptoms? Were you getting a regular checkup? Could you kind of tell us about your situation, sir?
Yes, sir. I would say, first of all, we go back to the experience of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with his prostate cancer diagnosis and battle. That really for me. And so mine, like Brother Tim, was going to a beautiful Nigerian doctor, did my PSA, and he monitored it. And then when it got to a certain level, he said, I need to try. Then he sent me to a specialist. Basically, like I said, and so it was declared that I did have it. I was blessed to talk to the minister about it. He literally sent me to his urologist, a brother by the name of Kerry Ransom, who was really a great doctor and a great healer in the truest sense. So I went to Dr. Ransom, had the had the surgery in 2017. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, because of that rise in PSA, I went. He told me get to an oncologist or a cancer doctor right away. I did that, and when I went to that cancer doctor, he did this extensive scan, which turned up a tumor for lung cancer, and I also have interstitial lung disease. But the doctor told me, if Mr. Muhammad, if not for the PSA level and the scan trying to pinpoint that, we would never have tested you for lung cancer because you had none of the indicators, right?
Wow.
Wow.
So in January, I had matter of fact, January 6th, I had surgery to remove that tumor, small tumor, and right now I'm undergoing radiation therapy for the remaining cancer in my prostate area. But I think, like Sister Beverly and Brother Tim, I support 100% what they're saying. Getting in tune with your body. But like Brother Tim said, taking control and responsibility for your own health.
Yes, sir.
You can't say I don't have health insurance. I know in Chicago, and I'm hoping everywhere, there's some kind of free clinic or sliding scale clinic. I mean, to be honest, that's why I was diagnosed. It wasn't a big fancy hospital. Sliding scale clinic on the south side of Chicago, where I had a doctor who cared, who showed me that he cared. So I'll just close it there.
No. I wanna go back to Sister Beverly, Brother Jackie. Um, Sister Beverly, you said you was in tune with your body and you knew it was cancer. I mean, that I ain't I might not be as in tune with my body as you are with yours. So again, like Brother Jackie said, I got a sore arm. I just, we just keep it moving. Uh we ain't got no time to take a day off work. We got to work. We got to go. Now, why let me ask you, why wouldn't you have thought it was something else? Why did you think cancer of all the different possibility of ailments it could be? Why did that hit you?
One of the things that we have to come to grips with is the fact that um, when I say know your body, it goes back to know thyself. And when you are in tune with the spiritual part of yourself, along with the medical part of yourself, then you get to know yourself. You know, one of the greatest things that happened to me is I knew I had it. I knew it was cancer because it came to me. I felt it. I knew it, but I didn't know what to do with it. So you get a hint like something is not right. If you sit down and you meditate on it and you learn to concentrate on it and your system is clean because you don't eat pork, you think as positively as you can, then you come to grips. Your body will speak to you through your DNA or your vibration or whatever you want to call it, because the person that has the best knowledge of you is you. So when they told me I had cancer, I wasn't surprised. They also said it you don't necessarily have to die from it. The type I had where it was the stage and whatnot. And when the doctor said that, I was like, let's get the party going. Let's get it started. She gave me something optimistic to hold on to. That's all I needed to do to know. So when she got finished examining her, she had this sad look on her face. And I thanked her. I said, "Oh, thank you so much." I said, I really appreciate your honesty. And she said, I don't understand why you're so happy. I just told you you had cancer. I said, yeah, but you also told me I had a chance to beat it. And I'm
That's right.
offended.
Come on now.
So
Yeah.
I did not know what to do with it. And that's where Allah blessed me with Sister Najma.
Right.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
Sister Najma has had cancer, though she taught me so much. She has been my coach for breast cancer. And though I have some medical knowledge and all of that, I didn't know all the fine-tuned things. So between Sister Najma and Dr. Angela, they helped me. But Sister Najma was my coach.
Yes,
She's a
ma'am.
better coach than any NFL quarterback coach could have ever been.
And Pat Riley.
No,
Okay, yeah.
I'm truly serious
Yes, ma'am.
because I don't play. I don't play. And when my husband and I went
Mhm.
sample on my surgical consults, because she's a registered nurse, the doctor was saying things, and I was doing a little pushback, but she kind of helped me to understand. No, what she really means is A, B, C, D. So she helped me. She taught me, you can't get stressed, and you can't, stress will enhance cancer. Cancer. Stress gives a vibration to your body that makes cancer thrive. She walked with me and my husband through this every step of the way. And so I'm saying to the sisters who have breast cancer, uh, as you go through that, you don't have to face this alone. You have a whole set of warriors that have been through that. I am a cancer survivor. This is my first, I'll be a cancer survivor. Actually, I found out I had cancer on the messenger's birthday last year, and we're coming up on his birthday again this year. But find someone that help you walk through it. Sister Najma helped both my husband and myself. She went to my doctor's appointments with me. She explained things to me. I explained things to her that I didn't like and what I did like. And she coached me. So you don't have to suffer this by yourself. Most brothers, they get in the corner, they don't even want to tell their wives.
Yeah, brother.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but y'all got to get out of that.
Yeah, brother. Man. We need two coaches.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's
We
for real.
sisters, we gonna get a council together, and we gonna counsel, and we gonna talk to one another.
Oh, that's
You know?
that's yes, ma'am.
So I'm
Another
gonna
thing
get back to
is-
brother.
Hold on, I want to before you go, brother Kawi, I want to bring our sister Najma in, as Sister Beverly so eloquently put it. She is a coach, but I want to talk about your own situation as you are, your survivorship, and when you found out, and how did you take it, and were there any? Did you feel anything with your body before you found out, or were you just tested?
Well, I would say that I'm probably that person who did not think that they had cancer. I lost my parents very early in life to cancer of a different type and several family members. So I spent most of my life advocating to be healthy, striving to be healthy. And, in our community, high blood pressure and diabetes runs rampant. So I strive to be very healthy. I was very healthy. I think I was probably in the best health of my life at the time. And kept all my yearly appointments, all of the above, and was in a car accident with another family and my son. And the car was totaled, but we all walked away from it. So afterwards, I had to go to a doctor's appointment that I already had scheduled, and we thought I had bruising across my chest from the seatbelt. Doctor said, just go ahead and go to your normal appointment, and we'll just rule everything out. When I went to my appointment, I still got a clean bill of health from my mammogram. However, because I felt something, which is why it's very important to do a self-exam monthly, no matter what the circumstances are. I felt something at that time, so that the protocol is to have a ultrasound. From the ultrasound, and I will say that I advocated for myself to get an ultrasound very quickly. So that was in May of 2015. And at the time, I couldn't get an ultrasound until June. I really pushed the buttons and got one within 5 days later.
Mhm.
Of course, from the ultrasound, when you're there and when you are in tune with your body, you can tell when they start going back and forth over the same location that something's not right. So
Right.
from there, we scheduled a biopsy the next week. So by the end of April, the 26th of 2015, I found that I had breast cancer. And the staging came back that it was stage 3, that I had HER2 positive. And that sent me into a little of a tailspin. Because when you're a mother of 4 and you think you're very healthy, you do all the things that you're supposed to do, you breastfeed, you exercise, you eat right, all those things, it is a shocker. And it put me in a position of having to advocate for myself. And that came from having to do all the research of learning all the different types, the different kinds of treatments, and what was going to be best for me. I will say that it was devastating. I was divorced, mother of 4, by myself with my young children, some in college, and it was tough. But I'm thankful to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who called me and he helped me to understand it. Just because you get a diagnosis doesn't mean it's a death sentence.
Right.
He said, Allah chooses us sometimes so that we can bear witness to his power and his strength on how he can bring us through. And those words to me were like marching orders. So it put me in a position mentally, spiritually, and physically to have to fight. We get lots of different people calling you with suggestions, what to do, what not to do. And that's when you have to kind of go off into your own space and make a determination what's best for you and your cancer and your situation, which is why I'm very much a person like Sister Beverly. I went with her, but I didn't tell her what to do. I didn't tell her what her choices were. I helped her discuss her choices. But at the end of the day, it was her choice what direction she had to go. As I said, every cancer is different. I learned all the statistics about Black women, how we died at an alarmingly higher rate than anyone else with breast cancer. Not because so much that we have it more often, it's because our detection is not assumed. We don't go as often. We don't get early detection. We find it late, or we, like you say, we wait until the last minute, or we have economic issues, or basically, and as Sister Beverly can tell you more about, our doctors treat us as if, it's going to die anyway, so why bother? We have doctors that treat you like a number or treat you through a system. It's important that you find some doctor that works for you and that will advocate for you and that you mesh well with. In my particular case, I was allergic to my treatment, which is like 3% of the people who are. So I literally was broken out from top to bottom and had to make a decision, stay with this treatment or do something different. And because I had great results, I decided to take the treatment that I had. I stuck with the chemo. I had chemo and a year of Herceptin. So I had about 18 months. Then also I had radiation after that. And so your survivorship starts when you finish your treatment. And since then, I'm 6 years out from my treatment. I'm in a stage down process where I see my breast surgeon every 6 months. I see my oncologist now. I'm on a 1-year visit with him. So I'm very grateful and very thankful to be here.
Now you said something. I think you said did you say stage
3?
Okay, now what decides the stages? Like how are the different stages decided? Like is it the size? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Size determines your stage, and they're kind of not so much using staging as much as before, but size determines your stage, the number of cells that they find and determine. Cancer is about reproduction of cells and how fast those cells reproduce. And they do specific tests to determine what type of cancer or what is driving your abnormal cell production. It could be estrogen, progesterone, which I neither. It could be growth hormone, which is mine. It could be, there's another triple negative. There's so many different types that it's really important that you make sure you get it typed and staged before you start, and understand what that means for you.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Brother Cowie. I know I cut you off.
Oh no, I was going. Actually, I was going to Sister Najma next. I mean, one of the things you said is that you went through a little depression when you
Yeah.
heard of the diagnosis. Is that the same for everybody? Did when you heard you?
I would not
know,
say
Yeah.
everybody goes through a depression.
Yeah.
I would say that everybody would have their own stage in the process. I went through a little depression in terms of trying to figure out what to do. I think it's really important that you have a support system, and which is why I do what I do now, because I didn't have that type of support system. When it boiled down to it, it was me and my children. And, you want to be the strong person for your children. I eventually had a co-worker and Sister Sharifa, who's not with us, may I be pleased with her, and another young sister who became my support system through the process, where they actually took me to my appointments, sat with me, and went through the whole process. So would I say depression? I would say I also dealt with a little fear. And I'm one of those people that I believe that you have to acknowledge the fact that there is fear. Does that mean that you have a lack of faith because you have fear? I disagree with that. It means that you're acknowledging the fact that you have a fear and that you need to have people in your life to help direct you to the proper source to deal with your fear.
Absolutely. Now, let me be clear. You said support. Yeah, I got you, Brother Tim. You said support system, and I want to, for our audience and whatnot, they didn't have to know anything about cancer. They didn't have to have been through cancer, but they went with you to the doctor, drove you. That's your support system. Is that
Yes, that
accurate?
was my support things. So what I found out is that, when you have a diagnosis such as that, you don't really know what you need. So you need people in your life who are willing to assist you. My next door neighbor would bring me honeydew melons once a week because he knew I was in cancer treatment. He knew that there were certain foods I couldn't eat. He knew that I couldn't tolerate foods. He knew that I was throwing up on the weekend. There was my youngest son had a best friend who he would go stay with on the weekends. His mom would take my son because my treatments were on Thursday. By Friday, I was not in the best shape. So he would go stay with her for the weekend after each treatment, just so that he didn't have to be there with me. Because of my allergicness to my treatment, I'd have to have medication to go into it, which would be sometimes Benadryl and a lot of other things. So I couldn't drive myself there and I couldn't drive myself home. So you have to have a support system. You have to have people who are willing to do before ask. And you have to have support system afterwards, because once you have a cancer diagnosis, your life is forever changed. Your journey is forever different. And you have to learn how to navigate with a new person. I had a double mastectomy. I had to look at my odds of it coming back, and the odds were great that my cancer would reoccur in 5 years. So you have to make decisions based on the type of cancer, type of tumors that you have, and your prognosis, and make the best decision. There wasn't a pill I could take. Like a lot of cancers have pills you can take. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Okay, Brother Tim, you had something you wanted to say, sir?
Oh yeah, what I was going to say, as Sister Najma had expressed, when I found out, I was shocked. I really was, because I felt like I was in the best of health. I'm like 69, 70 years old and feeling extremely good. I'm in the gym on a regular. I felt good. Then I found out I got this. I mean, it changed the whole game. I mean, wow, man, where did this come from? So I asked the doctor. Like I said, I went to top neurologist in Atlanta, asked him, I said, where did this come from? He said, there's been an increase, mainly in Black men, of prostate cancer. He said, most white men get testicular cancer. For Black men, it's prostate cancer. After I had my prostate operation, I thought it was gone. A year later, my PSA started rising again. So I had to go and get radiation treatment. I took 37 treatments of radiation. And every time I would go there, I went there every day, except for weekends and holidays for 37 treatments. I would go up in there, and every time I would go to the doctor, I said, yeah, y'all gonna put me in this microwave again, huh? You're trying to cook me a little bit, you know? And they
Yes,
said, oh, Mr. Tim, why you say it like that? I said, because that's what you're doing. You're cooking me in this microwave, you know? And after
Yes, sir.
37 treatments, the doctor
You know,
told me, he said, one of the worst things that you can do with cancer is be stressed, just like Sister Nadia said, because stress changes the body chemistry in your body. He said, do not stress. But it took me a long time to try to feel like myself again. I mean, because I just felt like a zombie. All that radiation up in me, it burns out everything in you. Not only do it get rid of the bad cells, it get rid of the good cells. So, I mean, it was, yes, I was in shock for a minute.
What happened to Brother Nabi?
He fell off. Sister Najma, you was gonna say something?
I was going to say that, you know, the treatments, I mean, and you see a lot of people after the fact, they're very happy, but when you're actually going through the process, like radiation for me, literally burns from one side of me straight through the other side, where I was literally raw, where it burned straight through. There's things that you suffer after the fact, you know, swelling, and
Right.
if you don't have a good doctor or good people to talk to, there's things that you go through that you don't know that do not have to go through. You have expenses that you did not know that you would have to have or did not have to have. So it's real important to have support, so that you have someone to advocate, that there's people that you can talk to. Nobody plans to have cancer.
Right.
You don't plan to have cancer. You're not ready for the financial responsibilities. You're not ready for it if you cannot work. You know, when you get that medical bill and it's $248,000, and you're like, my God, where am I going to do? How am I going to make this happen? You really have to reset your whole life. And the biggest thing that I learned from the beginning of it was that it's okay to voice that you're fearful. It's okay to voice that you're in shock. It's okay to voice that, you know, I don't know where this came from. Because like Brother Tim said, I felt like I was in the best health. I did everything right. So you start asking yourself, what did I do wrong? And those are real questions. What happened? What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? And the truth of the matter is, sometimes there is no what can I do differently. It is what it is. Now you have to attack it straight head on, and you have to move in the best manner to bring back the best results for you.
Brother Nabi.
Yes.
I want to hear. When you first got your diagnosis that you had cancer, how did that hit you?
Well, brother, could I change
also-
direction? Could I change direction for a minute?
Do your thing.
Why don't we?
We're going to do that next anyway.
Why don't we invite Dr. Parks in,
Yeah.
and then you can come back to me? How about that?
Yes, sir. We have a schedule. Wait, let's.
Oh, you already got your own program. My fault. Okay. When I heard, brother, I think I was working out too. I think I was eating better. You know, when they told me they were going to give me this test, right? And I got a biopsy, right, where they go to your prostate and they take out these pieces of your flesh and they test them. Brother, when I just tell you I knew it was coming back negative, I knew it was coming back negative, and it came back positive. That, man, I had to accept a new reality. I had to accept a new reality, and I had to decide how was I going to deal with it. And I'm going to add one of the things that I think is vitally important. I think Sister Najma referred to it. I'm saying, and this is why, at least for detection, okay, at least for detection, brothers and sisters, there's a I believe, I know we got them in Chicago and other places. There are clinics that are either free or that have a sliding scale that can give you a physical. And you can get the physical results and you can walk through that physical to see where you are and where potential problems may be. And then you can move forward. That's what happened to me. Beautiful Nigerian doctor. He was right on it in terms of tracking my PSA level. He referred me and I was able to get treatment through actually he sent me to Northwestern. I don't know what happened to the bill, honestly. I don't know if I ignored it or if they didn't bill me or whatever. But at the end of the day, it didn't get paid, but I got the treatment. I don't know where it was. That was like 6 years ago. But
Go ahead, Brother Don.
it struck me. It really struck me. And the beautiful thing, I had the blessing of being able to talk to the minister.
Mm.
And I had the blessing of having learned from his experience. So when I went to the prostate cancer surgery, well, first of all, I went to Cook County, which is the poor people's hospital in Chicago, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
They were so cold spirited in terms of the way they treated me. And I'm not going to say it was intentional, it's just the way they were.
Mhm.
I was talking to the minister and I literally broke down crying. And he was talking to me and he thought it was because of the diagnosis. And I told him it's not really the diagnosis, but it's all these other things that I'm feeling about the diagnosis and how I was treated. And basically, kind of who should I trust? That's when he gave me his urologist, Dr. Kerry Ranson, out of Indianapolis, not Indianapolis, out of Indiana. A brother who was very kind, a brother who was very, very expert, a brother who was very loving. And look, brothers and sisters, you want the best care that you can get.
That's right.
And you really don't care
Absolutely.
about black or white at that point. Question is, can you help me save my life?
Yes,
Well, you
sir.
about to be my best friend. But it so happened that this brilliant black man was there for me. And with him guiding me through it, matter of fact, I didn't realize that during the COVID, I hadn't talked to him in 2 years.
Mm.
And I went back to him just to kind of follow up. He's the one that said, hey, man, your PSA level is rising. And that led me to this next portion of my journey where now I'm getting radiation treatment in the prostate area. And I've had an operation to remove the tumor from the lung. I'm going to close with this because I think something that Sister Najma said is very important. Look, believers, Allah promises us in the Holy Quran
Come on.
to try us with something of what? Fear.
Fear.
So he knows we're going to fear. The question is, how do we react to it?
That's right.
And how do we
That's
support
right.
one another?
How do we
Yes,
support
yes,
one another?
Go ahead, Sister Beverly.
I'd like to add to that a couple of things. When Brother Naba and Sister Najma say find a good doctor. When I went to my first oncology visit, the doctor I had told me because, I'm a senior citizen, he didn't feel that I should waste my time getting treatment because I wasn't going to live much longer anyway. That's a direct quote.
Wow.
And she was very
Wow.
cold and very hostile toward me getting chemotherapy, which I had gone through a lot of talking with my husband, with Sister Najma, with Dr. Angela. So it was a decision that I made based on knowledge, getting knowledge. And she told me that it was virtually a waste of time because you're Black in America and you usually die at 85 years old on an average. And, like Brother Tim, you took on the video appointment with me, and I had to keep cool because I didn't want him to go off, but I took care of that. So if you get a doctor that you cannot connect with, I totally support what Brother Naba is saying. Go find yourself another doctor. Number two, to the believers, family, and friends, to those that are going through cancer, and you have not ever gone through cancer, there are certain things that you really, really have to realize. I was blessed to see my husband go through it. So I had a prerequisite to kind of, follow. But then when I found out I had cancer, shared it with a lot of the other family members and believers and friends, I found out that they would call me how I'm doing, and I would tell them, and then they would quickly change to discuss their problems.
Mm.
When you're going through cancer, a person going through cancer cannot take on your problems. So we're going to have to learn how to communicate with those that are suffering from cancer. I had people tell me things that to me, that's not a problem. You know what a problem is? It's sitting out wondering if you're going to live or are you going to die from cancer. So if you can't do anything but just say, look, I just want you to know I'm here if you need me, and I'm praying for you, and that be the end of the conversation, so be it. But don't act as if it doesn't exist to the person you're talking to.
Right.
If that person has cancer, don't go on talking about what's wrong with you. Be more attentive, be more caring, be more compassionate. I lost a lot of people during my cancer thing because of two reasons. Number one, I didn't stay on the phone talking about a whole lot of stuff that interfered with me struggling to save my life. Number two, my husband determined, and I totally agreed, a total of 5 people could come in my home because they could not bring germs because we were still coming down off of the COVID. And people got insulted because they couldn't come back and buy the house, or they couldn't get on the phone. To the believers, to the family, to the friends, if you know that somebody is struggling with cancer, please be more compassionate. Please be more understanding. Please, because they don't need to have burden placed on the burden that they already have. Also, I spent 20 years in hospital administration. You can go to health.gov. It is an extension of the Affordable Health Care Plan, commonly known as Obamacare. And you can sign up for the gold package, or the bronze package, or the silver package. And just like Brother Nam said, you don't have to pay your exorbitant hospital bills, but our people don't know about that because nobody's really telling them and talking about that. But when you go on health.gov, it's going to give you all of the top insurance companies, and they're going to tell you this is what they charge: $600 a month, $700 a month. Pick the one you want, and then go fill out an application on health.gov saying that you would like to use this insurance company. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to cut your costs sometimes down to almost zero. If you are a working person and you're making a decent income every month, you still don't have to pay that kind of price. It is available. The current political environment in America today with the Republicans and the Democrats, the Republicans are going to make sure you don't know this. But I'm telling you that you can do that. Go to health.gov. It's no excuse. I don't know if it still stands, but I know at one time, if you did not have insurance, when they offered you Obamacare, you would have to pay eventually a $5,000 fine to the IRS. Now, I don't know if that's still, because there's been some niggling with the act, the Obamacare. That might still stand. They might reenact it. I don't know. But
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
get insurance. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Bevan. Okay, we want to get to you, Sister Christina. Give us 1 minute. We want to go ahead and run through this quick commercial. Brother Kyle, go ahead and take it away, sir.
Once again, thank y'all for tuning in to Job Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. If you have been listening so far, powerful testimonies from our guest today, Sister Beverly, her husband, Captain Tim, brother from the final call, Brother Nabi, and Sister Najma. Powerful testimonies, real testimonies. All of them just keeping it so real. So once again, thank you. Please share the show. So many people need to hear this, and please ask your people to hit the bell for the upcoming shows that we have. Again, we have a prison initiative. Please support those prison initiatives. We must get that paper behind bars so our brothers and sisters across the country must do it. And if you have the information, please, jobbrothersbureau.com. That's how you can get information in regards to a specific inmate that you have in mind. Now, the Job Brothers, we all are businessmen. We all have our own businesses. We like for you to support us. I'm your local realtor. I deal with commercial and residential home sales. If you have any questions about the current interest rates, if you have any questions about where you are at, and everybody's financial situation is different, please give me a call. You can reach me at 404-671-5681. Also, our brother Ahmed, he's coming on right now. He is an author of a children's book called Bilal and the Bully. Please support our brother and getting his children's book series that he's kicking off. And Bilal and the Bully is his inaugural book. Support Brother Ahmed and his book. I don't have his book information up here, but I know you can go to Amazon and get his book. And he also have BI Publishing. Well, that's me. Right there you go, right there. And if you can blow it up for me, I can't see it. www.bipublishing.com. That's another way you can purchase his book, Bilal and the Bully. These books are specifically made for our community. And then, of course, you got the great brother Jackie. He has his own business, Supreme Waste Management. Did I say it right, brother Jackie? There you go, Supreme Waste Removal. He has dumpster cans. If you need them for whatever reason, give our brother Jackie a call, and he responds to you right away. His number, as you can see, is 404-957-7639. No further ado, let's get back to the show. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. So now, Dr. Parks. Now you've been listening to all the different testimonies, different situations. Now, as a biochemist, molecular biology, dealing with cellular and molecular biology, what goes through your mind when you hear these things? And tell us, what were you thinking when you hear what was the testimonies and whatnot?
Well, the first thing is I was really humbled by each of the different testimonies. I'm first a human, and I actually had a tiny little scare, nothing like what they've gone through a few years ago. And it's, so I can relate just a very small bit to the fear. No matter how much walking into an unknown and because there are many different types of cancer, as Sister Najima, said, that you're not always sure exactly what you're dealing with. I worked for years in an organic chemistry lab. I worked with radiation for years. And in fact, I had a small mole crop up on my wrist. And then it started getting larger over time. It was very dark black. Melanoma is one of the most fatal cancers there are. And I went to have it looked at. She's like, "Oh, it's probably fine." I'm like, get it off, because I knew I had worked with radiation. And I remember I was behind a plexiglass shield. I had a badge on to monitor the radiation, but my hands were with the radiation behind the shield, right? And so when it appeared on my wrist, I knew that my hands were at high risk for cancer because they'd been exposed to radiation for years. So many of us have risk factors. It could have been the water where we grew up. There's so many. It could have been a virus that we don't know is inside of our bodies that was from the polio vaccine, that was passed down generationally. It could be just inflammation. So there are many different predisposing factors that, and even your genetic profile that can predispose to cancer. And so, the first thing was that I related on just a human level to their stories. And the second thing that's really important, in the nation, we're taught that we evolve step by step. We grow step by step. When there is a desire, a need, we send that call up and it's answered. And so right now I hear all these stories about chemotherapy, and I'm so grateful that this has been successful for people. But as Brother Timothy was saying, chemo is extremely detrimental to your body. And so and so we really have to find a better way of approaching that. Now, when you find out you have cancer is not the time necessarily. I mean, it depends on who you are and what your beliefs are. But for many of us, it's not the time to get a PhD in oncology and cancer biology, right? You've got kids. It's hard enough to battle without re-educating yourself. So I think that falls on others of us to help our understanding of cancer, how we can prevent it, and also how we can navigate the journey better in terms of supporting our body if we do choose things like chemotherapy or radiation, and how we can support our bodies afterward. So I want to talk a little bit about what cancer is and what factors predispose to it. Now, that said, this is not to say that anyone on this call did anything wrong, because as I said, I also live a very healthy lifestyle, but my first thought was, I worked with radiation. Of course I'm exposed. I worked in an organic chemistry lab, and who knows what other factors in my life that I didn't even know of could have predisposed me, that through no fault of my own. But I want to talk about what we can do. So when we talked about the definition of cancer, it's usually a mass of cells. Now, it can be a tumor. A tumor can be benign, or it can be metastatic. Now, here's the difference. So you have a small mass of cells. It can be a pinprick size, or it could be a golf ball size. It can be benign. That means the cells stay in that tumor. They stay where they're supposed to. Well, I don't say they're supposed to be, but they stay in that solid mass. However, so what happens is that when your cells divide, through the majesty of God, there are little enzymes, like little robots, that check your DNA every time, make sure that, okay, there's no mutations, this cell can divide. If there's a lot of mutations, they will send some signals and actually get enzymes to fix it. Then they'll check it again. Fixed, good, the cell can divide. Why? Because we don't want mutations in our DNA, because mutations can lead to uncontrolled cell growth. But they can also lead to something else. They can lead to all sorts of weird mutations. And eventually some of those weird mutations are metastatic. What that means is they travel. These cancer cells don't stay where they're supposed to. They travel to other areas of the body and set up little cancers there. Now, that is what is very, very dangerous when you have cancer, is when it is spread to other areas of the body. So again, your cells will actually check the DNA, make sure it's intact, make sure it's good before the cells divide. Then if there's too much damage, they'll actually tell them to commit suicide. Kill yourself. We don't want you anymore. So the reason I say this is because there are things that can help this. One of the things, this is our major tumor suppressor, P53. One of the factors that it needs to be active to check your DNA properly, to activate your cells to commit suicide if they're mutated, is selenium. Now, don't go out and take buttloads of selenium. You only need a tiny little bit. You don't want to, there's things that you can get too much of. But some of us may not realize that our diet is deficient in selenium. And so there's some things like that that can be very important. So getting back to the big picture.
Okay, hold 1 second before, because you selenium with a C or S?
S, SELENIUM, selenium.
Okay. And it keeps the cells from spreading, or it keeps them in one area.
It helps that
It helps.
process, because what they found is most cancers stay in this that tumor stage where it's just one tumor until this P53, this tumor suppressor, is inactivated. It is mutated. So that's why it's one of the most important ones in the body, because when it doesn't work right, you get all sorts of mutations, and some of them are bound to be metastatic. Okay. So making sure that you are sufficient, not overdone, but sufficient in selenium can help to prevent this sort of metastatic, going from a regular tumor to a metastatic one. Now, there's a few other things I want to talk about. We all get cancer cells all the time, but usually when a cell is mutated, it has abnormal markers on it, and the immune system recognizes it and destroys it. This is why children typically do not get cancer, because they have a very, very strong innate immune system. The fact that cancer rates are going up in our children suggests something is very, very wrong, and that their immune systems are compromised. So some things that are critical in your immune system to making sure this works are vitamin D and zinc. All right. And again, you want to be sufficient in those. You can get early morning sun for vitamin D, or you can take a cod liver oil supplement. Milk, butter, great sources of vitamin D, vitamin A. So your immune system. So when someone gets something like a very quick growing cancer, there can be a few reasons. There are many different types of cancers. I'm not trying to, it can get pretty complicated. But in many cases, it's because your immune system is failing. So many people actually have cancers for many years because their immune system's keeping it in check. There's sort of a homeostasis there. Okay. So if they have something, and this is where something like a divorce or stress or being a single mom or having trouble at your job or having some unresolved trauma can actually really impinge on the whole system to dampen your immune system and allow that cancer to spread. So some people have said that they laughed a lot during cancer intentionally, right? That they decided to really promote either peaceful feelings or happy feelings or joy, because that's really great for your immune system. It's great for your cell signaling. Some cancers actually, they mask themselves, and there's some biochemical ways that they do this. And when they mask themselves, the immune system doesn't see them. Otherwise, it will attack them. Interestingly, ivermectin has been shown to help in that unmasking so that your immune system can see it. Another protein that's found in milk, lactoferrin,
Yes.
also does the same. So lactoferrin and ivermectin, they're actually doing some clinical trials for these turbo cancers, for these poor people who took the vaccine. So the point being that when we actually go to understanding the science, it's time to evolve to a new understanding of how to prevent and treat cancer, which is in no way to denigrate what other people are doing or trying to do, but to optimize things going forward step by step. Because, and again, when you find out you have stage 3 cancer, is not the time to do it. It's time to educate all of us so that we do things that are preventing. And that I think one of the most important things that was said, that we support each other no matter where we're at and what choice we make, because what you believe is actually more important than your treatment. Because what you believe is a consciousness that goes to every cell of your body. So if you believe that chemo was going to work, or someone like maybe it's your mom or whoever, then don't be like, Mom, don't take chemo. I mean, what you believe is really important. So we have to meet people where they're at and support them in whatever ways they can. It could be by helping them take some selenium, vitamin D, and zinc, or it could be by watching their kids, or, being that shoulder to cry on. All of those things, our mental state and our biochemical health, are all really, really important. Some are really complicated. Like if you have an estrogen responsive breast cancer, then that's really tricky. Like you need your estrogen as a female. And so blocking estrogen is going to have symptoms, and not blocking estrogen is going to have problems. So again, that's where we need to be really supportive and not think we know, but also to be open to the guidance and leading of God and to our own intuition. You've heard person after person say that they, got to the doctor and weren't even expecting this, but they were led through this process. And so I think the more that we allowed ourselves to be led by God, the more we will be led to either early, you're early finding it, like someone said, a car crash. And we always think, oh, this is a negative thing. Who knows? It could get you to the doctor so that you get early diagnosis. But also to things that you feel intuitively drawn to. Okay. A couple of other things I know this is a huge topic.
It is. Hold 1 second. This is very interesting to me. Now, I'm wondering, when you're talking about the cells, what about the stem cells? What is the function of the stem or new stem cells in your body? What is the function of that?
Okay, so that's a really complicated topic, but here's what I will say. Vaccines, whether it's COVID vaccine or other vaccines, are contaminated with DNA, and those are exposed to our blood, and we have immune cells, stem cells in our blood specifically. There's other types of stem cells as well, and those preferentially take up DNA and integrate it into your DNA. And that causes insertional mutagenesis, which can lead to cancers, leukemia and lymphoma. And we're seeing so many of those nowadays. So those are blood cancers. That can happen in other areas of the body, but obviously things are going to see your blood kind of first, right? So the stem cells, whether they're in your bone marrow or in your blood, once they're screwed up, where do you get new cells from? So this is where you can need a stem cell transplant, because the stem cells are the cells that make all your other immune cells, right? All your other blood cells.
So the
if
stem
they're screwed
cells
up,
make
they can only make screwed up cells. And
okay. So the reason why I asked, I don't want to go too fast, but the reason why I asked that was because we had Dr. Achille on, and he spoke about the 3-day fast, how our 3-day fast give us new stem cells. So I was wondering, having new stem cells every month, from the fast, what does it do in your body from your perspective? So it affects the DNA, is what you're saying as well, new stem cells?
Right. So, okay. Let me, I'll get around to that.
Okay.
So when you fast, viruses can integrate into your DNA. And in fact, all of us have viruses integrated to our DNA. But they know that fasting causes your DNA to wrap up so that viral DNA is not expressed. It shuts it down. So fasting is really important, and viral activation is correlated with inflammation, all kinds of other mess, but also with cancer. And so the more you can shut that down, you can't always get it out of your DNA, but you can shut it down. And so fasting is really, really good for that. It also, in terms of the stem cells that you have, like if you have aberrant ones, if your body's making new ones, the hope would be that you can change. Sometimes, like let's say you have some bad stem cells over here and some good ones over here. Maybe the good ones expand more and the bad ones sort of contract. And so you still have positive cells to make new immune cells that are not messed up.
Absolutely.
Okay. And what you would hope in the body, and this is where even some natural things can help, is that the stem cells that are mutated, if they get the right signal, they can kill themselves, because that's what they're supposed to do, or they can be attacked by other immune cells that can kill them. And so I think we need to move to a new paradigm, because we weren't designed with a deficiency of chemotherapy or a deficiency of pharmaceutical products. We were made by a God in his image that knows how we can heal. And so when we ask the question, it's answered. And so I think, step by step, we can move into understanding how to support the body in reestablishing communication. For some cancers, that may be simpler than for other cancers, such as things like estrogen dependent cancers. But I think that the goal is always to restore homeostasis, not to carpet bomb the body, which is what chemo and radiation are doing.
Absolutely. Okay. Now I'm telling you, that was enlightening for me because
Wow.
we moving into the science on a cellular level. Praise be to Allah. The messenger gave us. He gave us a blueprint: 1 meal every 24 hours, 1 meal every 48 hours, 1 meal every 72 hours. And also a 3-day fast every 72 hours, every 30 days. And we find out now that it affects the cells, it affects the stem cells, and as our doctor explained, that is different things we can take. We've been given the milk, the raw milk, which has
Vitamin D, vitamin A, butyric acid, propionic acid, so many important things.
lactoferrin, you said, I believe.
Yes, lactoferrin
Yeah.
absolutely can help with cancer. Yes.
Ivermectin. So so we have
Pour some ivermectin in your milk.
well, okay. Well, we have the blueprint, is what I'm saying. The messenger gave us the blueprint. Now we have our sister. Are you Sister Christina X?
I am.
Praise be to Allah. So Sister Christina X knows the science to it. So now what we need is, if you're able to answer any question, we need some type of information that if you're willing to take on questions or whatnot, that we can.
I do have another appointment, so I only have a few minutes. But
it doesn't have to be tonight. Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a whole nother show.
Yeah,
I do want to say, you know, as I came into the nation, there were some people who've been here 5 years that aren't eating 1 meal a day yet. And
yes, ma'am.
I just recently recited, but I started eating 1 meal a day last November. And the reason is I know the science. And after I read through Eat to Live and I could verify 85% of it right off the bat, I was like, yeah, okay, I don't really need any more convincing that there's some science behind this. And when we're really convinced at what it can do for our bodies, then it's a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. Praise be to Allah.
That's true.
The master has need of the coat. So we praise be to Allah. So we thank Allah for all of you all. We are at the time. I hope we didn't lose Brother Naba, but I want to thank all of you all. I got you, Sister Beverly. I want to thank all of you all for coming on and expressing yourself, opening yourself up, giving our listeners everything from yourself, giving us direction, giving us guidance.
Hold on a second.
Hold on, let me finish, brother. I want to thank you all for giving us everything that you gave us. And I know Sister Beverly wanted to say something, Brother Ahmed.
No. I just wanted to say before Sister goes, you was asking her. I mean, do we have information that we could put on the screen? Is she able to answer questions from our audience, from believers that have questions about cancer, some support groups? Is there any way that they can contact her? Right. This is what I'm saying. She got to get ready to go. So does she have an email address or a phone number that we can send out, or some where believers or support people in support groups that want to contact you and say, hey, how can I help?
Yeah, what I would recommend is maybe doing another show, and maybe we could have someone besides myself on there as well. I'm on Facebook at just Christina Parks. That's the best way, is Facebook Messenger. But in regards to this particular topic, I would say, we had talked about possibly following up with another show that was more kind of a question and answer kind of a thing.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Christina Parks on Facebook. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you, Sister Christina X. Praise be to Allah. We didn't mean to hold you up, but Sister Beverly, you had something you wanted to say?
Yes, one of the things one of the things I think Brother Tim would speak on that I wanted to is the work of Dr. Mona Harrison. Brother Tim, you want to take it?
Yes. There's a doctor. She's no longer with us. And I'll be pleased with her. Her name was Dr. Mona Harrison. She was a research analyst at NASA. And she's the sister that invented the electrolysis machine for the electrolyzed water. She partnered with the Japanese, and they came up with the red water that fought cancer and things of this sort. And we were doing a seminar with her because she was a close friend of Mother Tatnana Muhammad. And she told us that the government, and she knew about it because she was in NASA, the government had targeted Black leaders, with microwave frequency beams that induce cancer in them. And the two main leaders that they targeted was Minister Farrakhan and Kwame Ture, formerly Stokely Carmichael. And there were others, but she said these were the two main people that the government had targeted.
Mm-hmm. And also the fact that her work with water and what Dr. Parks had to go, and I wanted to ask her, but the influence of that frequency on the body. You know how you can sit and have dinner in California and you have a glass of water on the table and all of a sudden you hear the boom. You see the little ripple in the water because California is prone to earthquakes. Frequency has a lot to do with the electromagnetic energy of the nucleus and with the cells, with the body, with everything. You turn on muddy waters, you're going to get a particular type of frequency. You go with the sparrow. Sorry, I'm a little older, Brother Jackie. You go with the mighty sparrow, you're going to get another type of frequency.
No what muddy
you
water.
Go with James Brown, you're going to get another type of frequency. So this frequency influences the water, and we live 75% of our body in water. So I asked the minister one time at dinner, I said, Minister Farrakhan, how important is it that Allah would put our salvation based on word? And he looked away. When he came back to me, he said, because the word goes into your ear through sound. Sound is one of the laws of physics, meaning sound does not have atoms. There's certain things that are not atomic based. They don't have atoms. They are quantum waves. They are quantum electromagnetic waves. And through that, we have electricity, thermodynamics, sound, sight, light, blah, blah, blah. But what Brother Tim is talking about is how the CDC, according to Mona Harrison, and she worked as a Surgeon General for the United States for a period of time as well, they learned to manipulate frequency. And certain frequency puts you in a certain hertz energy that can manipulate certain things in your body. So when we listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when we speak positive words, when we make a positive attitude around us and we keep positivity around us, we are also, in addition to the material cellular makeup, we are also using the quantum electromagnetic energy that is throughout the whole universe to keep ourselves above the freight of negativity, because cancer feeds on stress and negativity. It vibrates on that.
Absolutely. Well, praise be to Allah. Now we normally do last words. Sister Beverly, would you like to grace us with your final words?
Thank you. All praises to Allah.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thank Allah so very, very much. I am proud to say that I am a cancer survivor. I am very happy to have had Brother Tim by my side, Sister Naj by my side, my family, and those that love me. I went through all of it, and yes, sisters, if you're going through cancer, you know, I chose chemotherapy not because I really had to take it, but they had already extracted cancer from my body. They couldn't find any, but they recommended chemotherapy for me as a residual. You know, like you're sweeping up the last little piece that maybe they didn't get. So to find out, like Sister Najma and Dr. Parks had stated, you have to find out what works for you. Do not be afraid of cancer. I wasn't afraid of cancer. Brother Tim and Sister Najma can tell you, cancer is, everyone says you got to fight, 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 and you do. And like I have this joke, and I will leave with this. I told Brother Kwawi with this one time. When they said cancer, I came out all my mixed martial arts, and I was ready to go, ready to be, because I was not, and I did not allow cancer to make me weak. I'm not going to let that happen, you know.
Come on now.
But cancer hit me across the head with a bottle and fought like somebody on a ghetto street corner. So I had to game, and I had to stay strong. I watched my husband fight cancer. He inspired me. He let me know that if you fight it, and you fight it with the strength and faith of Allah, cancer ain't nothing but another word, another challenge, as the Holy Quran say, to overcome fear and live life more abundantly. That's my thing to my advice to anybody that's diagnosed with cancer. That's a good fight. Fight it with the best way you know how to fight it. And Allah will make you the winner. And if you do not live throughout cancer, know that death is not a loser. Death is a winner, because your death will be a testimony for those of us that have yet to live.
Come on
So
now.
it's not a negative, no way, shape, or form. None. I
Thank
you. I love you, Tim.
you.
What about me? What about me? What about me?
You got he got his love yesterday. Let's go to Brother Tim of Sister Beverly's boyfriend of 40 years. Praise be to Allah. Any final words, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. I thank Allah for life. I thank Allah for the minister and his guidance as we spoke to him while we were going through the trials and tribulation. When I took the treatment of that radiation, the 37 treatment radiation was so powerful. Just like Sister Najma said, it burned her body. It actually deteriorated three vertebrae in my back, in my lower back. That's how strong the cancer was. How strong the radiation was. Even to the point now, sometimes it's hard for me to walk, but I'm back in the gym now, trying to get my strength back and keep on working at it. But I got 3 discs that deteriorating from the radiation, not the cancer, but the radiation, So, but we thank Allah for life. We're going to keep pushing. I thank Allah for my wife. She's been right there by my side, and I've been by her side. We've been like 2 rock wallers. We've been taking care of business. You get too close, you might get bit, but it's all good, It's all good. I thank Allah for it, And I thank Allah for the panel. My brother, soldier friend, Brother Naba, and I love you with a perfect love. It's all good. Sister Najma, she's a baby when she came in the mosque. We raised her. She may not say that, but she, But I thank Allah for that. And I thank Allah for you, the panel. This is a beautiful show, and I hope it will help someone. Going through what we're going through. But I'm telling all, including you 3 brothers up there right now, go get your checkup. The life you saved may be your own. And that's real talk. All right?
Absolutely. Yes,
Assalamu
sir.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother, I don't know why you told us you was 69 or 70 years. I don't, you can stop with that. Come on, 60.
No, I'm 73.
Yeah, whatever, brother. Whatever, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, whatever. You still got your soft spot up there, brother. Brother Naba.
Yes, sir.
Brother Naba, man, brother, thank you, brother, for coming on. I want to ask you any final words, brother.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you, and thank you to all the panelists who are all people that I love. So thank you for reuniting me with them, especially Sister Najma. I'm telling you, sister, you don't know how good it makes me feel, literally, every time I see you. May Allah continue to bless you in the great work that you're doing and the service that you're rendering. I'm going to try to say some stuff real quick. One, brothers, get a physical. Take charge of your health. Find out find out if there's a problem, and then you can face that problem and you can overcome it. If you've already been diagnosed with prostate cancer or PSA or any ailment, work with a doctor you can trust, especially with this prostate cancer thing. It's a very intimate kind of situation. So you need somebody you can really be open with your questions, with your concerns, and even your fears.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Two more things. One, I'm here to support anybody. I'm sure Brother Tim, Sister Beverly, Sister Najma would say the same. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a brother who had an experience. And I'm more than happy to share with you some of the things I've learned and just answer any questions or just be a listening ear to you. Because sometimes we just need somebody who we can trust to be confidential with these very private things. Lastly, Sister Beverly, I'm gonna share an idea that you shared with me. Look, Sister Beverly said to me, we need to do a Savior's Day dinner, panel, discussion, fireside chat, whatever it is, on this subject of cancer. So everybody, let's try to figure something out. Whether we all get in the room and order some food, or whether we buy some food and take it to the room, or we sit down and have coffee. But we don't want you to feel isolated, brothers and sisters.
Right.
We support one another. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So we need those a cancer survivorship support group for Savior's Day. Okay. Sounds like a plan, Sister Najma. So we'll come to you, Sister Najma, the coach. We need a cancer survivorship support group for Savior's Day. Sounds very good. We can get a room and we can bring and we can just support each other. So praise be to Allah. Sister Najma, any final words? I think you're muted. Unmute yourself. Yeah, unmute yourself. Okay.
So I would say, first of all, thank you for this, because this is a discussion that I've been wanting to have for a very long time within our own nation, because we should have a response. We should have a place where people can go and have their questions answered, that they can feel comfortable. And we have our minister, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, who has been an example for us on how to navigate the world of cancer, so that we can make what I consider informed decisions and be self-advocate for ourselves. If we don't stand up for ourselves and get the proper information, we'll never have them. And the final thing I would say is that cancer, once you have that diagnosis, you've been through cancer, life is never the same. You have to learn what your new normal is. You have to learn who you are again. It's a whole process of walking that walk. It's so many different things. And we talk about how to eat to live, which is our base. But life is not as simple as it once was prior to 75. There's so many other different stressors which affect our body, affects the genes, affects the viruses that are in our body, that we have to come to terms with as individuals, which allows us to be better in terms of how to eat to live, better in terms of how we manage our health, better how we handle high blood pressure, diabetes, anxiety, depression, things that we never really addressed before, but it becomes an individual path. And so as a health and wellness coach, that's what I do. I help people find what drives them. What is your prevention that's keeping you from doing how to eat to live? What is causing you not to be on that mark? And once you find what really motivates you, your real reason for whatever's going on in your life, then you'll find that you'll be a healthier lifestyle long term.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. Thank you. All right, Brother Ahmed, final words.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to promote Sister Najma as a coach. If anybody needed to contact her, that is her email address, so she can help in guiding you with any information. Did you want to say something about that, Sister Najma?
That's pretty much it. If you're, we're actually going to do the process of doing some things for the sisters in terms of getting our weight together prior to 75 Savers Day 24. That's going to be coming out starting in November. But in general, I work with people from all walks of life in terms of cancer, post, during, and after, just in ways to navigate your path through cancer. So give me a call, give me an email, whatever you need. That's my passion. Health has always been my passion. And now I have a place to work for my passion.
That's right.
Praise be to Allah.
And that's her phone number for all those who feel the need and want to reach her. Again, we need to support each other in this. This is a very serious topic, and it's not, I guess it's not really spoke about enough. I wanted to thank all the panelists for coming together. Inshallah, we can have a part 2. There's many more believers, friends, and families that are dealing with this as well. So we'd like to hear others' experiences in this. I'm your brother Ahmed, and please pardon my tardiness, but I'm behind the scenes. I'm putting it all together. So we have Sister Najma. We have also the doctor, Christina Parks. If anybody wanted to reach out to her, any questions or any concerns, she's at Facebook at Christina Parks, Facebook at Christina Parks. If anybody wanted to reach out to her. Also, if anybody wanted to reach out to the Jock Brothers, you can reach out to us at jockbrothersviews@gmail.com if you had any concerns or anything you wanted to promote, or if you were going through an experience where you really needed to get in touch with us, where we can direct you to some of our family members and our friends. Other than that, I just want to again thank our panelists for coming on. We've been putting this show together for quite some time, and Allah is God that we are able to get this on, and preferably we touch someone and help someone and guide someone with some of this information. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kawi.
Yes, sir. I'd like to first thank all of the panelists for coming on. I think the show was fantastic. I think the information that was shared was fantastic. I'd like to thank you all for being so courageous and just opening up your lives to everybody and sharing your experiences. I always wanted to ask questions like that, but I would, you just don't know how people is going to respond when you ask them personal questions. And in your case, you came on like a show and answered those questions. So I really appreciate you allowing me to do such a thing. As far as getting the checkups are concerned, I wish they had a better method to give you those type of checkups. All my checkups are blood work. I mean, if it was, I really hate that whole prostate checkup process. So whenever I do process checks, I let them do the blood work and I wait for the results. But I know I've been told that that's the most sound way to get I guess an answer. But I mean, I know it's other guys, I know it's other brothers out there that have that issue, and you know, maybe we can as brothers get together, brother Naba and Captain Tim, and talk about that.
Brother,
And,
I'm sorry, could I add something real quick? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh yes, sir.
Let's get past that as we work to save our lives. This is what my daughter told me after I got the biopsy. I mean, not my daughter, my sister, because I was kind of like, wow, what is this? She said, Richard, what you have been through is nothing that any heterosexual male would enjoy. But let's not let a simple, very simple moment keep us from doing that which could save our lives and save our families and our nations, everybody that loves us. Think of them and try to, go forward. And you can let the doctor know how you feel about it. That's okay. But it's very important, I'm saying, not to let that moment be something that could determine our life or our death.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right.
While you on the show, I mean, we wouldn't mind a final call. We wouldn't mind the Jock Brothers in the final call news.
Yes, sir, brother.
I had to do a shameless plug,
Well,
this would be a great topic.
Oh, I love Kawhi, boy. Kawhi.
put in the final call. So
that's why I love Kawhi.
Hit me with an email, brother. We'll go from there.
That's what I'm talking about. Kawhi. That's why I love Kawhi, man.
But thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for the kind words, brother Naba. And I know I'm gonna get that call from Captain Tim real soon, so I'm already expecting it. But thank you. That's what I have, brother Jack.
All right, Jock Nation. We received a lot of instructions, brothers, sisters. Let's go to the doctor. Let's pay attention to our bodies. I know we think we in perfect health. Ahmed think he's strong over there, and as well as Kawhi, like Brother Tim said, but we got to go get our numbers checked. We got to go get our blood checked. So also, let's form a support team. A support team doesn't mean that you have to know about whatever that person is going through, but whatever they need, if they need an apple, a banana, and you provide a apple or a banana every week, you are supporting. If they need a ride, you are supporting. So you don't have to talk as a support group. You could just act. So we have several instructions. We must eat to live. Sister Christina said it's a no-brainer. When she studied the cells and then she read the book, it was a no-brainer. We must eat to live. We must fast to live. All right. We must do all of these things that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has instructed us to do. And it was absolutely save our life. So thank you, Jock Nation. Thank you, panelists, for such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience from y'all. Thank you. You all gave us mass instructions. I mean, plenty of instructions, and you made it clear, and we got to go forward. And we need that support group for Savior's Day. I think that would be a perfect room to have a support. All this, Sister Najma, we're going to look for it because we're going to come in there and we're going to film it. And Jock Nation, we'll come in there and we'll go around the room. So we need that support. I guarantee our nation needs that. So definitely set that support group up for Savior's Day. That would be perfect. And I'm pretty sure our General Counsel will support that. So praise be to Allah. Make sure you tell them you heard it first on Jock Nation. Thank you, Jock Nation. Yeah. Another one.
Thank you.